Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to invite Teri Beckman into this forum. We are getting to know our faculty, and so this afternoon, it's my pleasure to invite you into this space, Teri Beckman, who teaches a lot of skillful means classes, and she'll also be teaching the 100 level course called Living Reimagined, starting next term. But for this term, she is teaching a class with me on overcoming workplace burnout. And so this is a great opportunity to get to know Teri a little bit. And so I'm going to ask her a few questions and see how this goes. So welcome, Teri.
Yeah, thank you, Wamo. It's great to be here.
Thank you. So my first question is, how did you get involved with Dharma College?
Well, I took a class with Dharma College. That was, I think, the beginning of it. So I've been involved in the Nyingma communities for many years in a lot of different roles and different parts of the larger organization. Um, and I live in North Carolina, so live 3,000 miles away. And I was looking for, just was looking for something different, a newer class, newer approach, to be able to stay better connected, to Tartan Tulku's teachings. And so I saw an advertisement. I must have somehow, I don't know exactly if you were emailing me or I was just looking. And probably I was looking and I found your website and then decided to start taking classes. So that was how I found it. And then you and Richard invited me to start to teach at some point.
That's right. And that brings me to my next question because you come with a lot of experience in helping companies find meaning and purpose and building leadership. And can you share a little bit more about what that looks like in your professional life and what informs you in terms of the uh, types of conversations that you have with your leaders? Has Dharma been informative in teaching some of these or coaching with some of these clients?
Yes. The short answer is definitely yes. I have a small boutique consulting. We do consulting training and some coaching. It's called High Goal. And we work primarily with mission-driven organizations. Most of our clients are nonprofit organizations. And, what I have found, I think in particular with Rinpoche's teachings and the Nyingma organizations in general, that there's a real, very special way that people work, and taking on really ambitious projects, and doing them, in the context of Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist psychology, Buddhist kind of just ways of doing things, like how to set projects up really to be successful, and especially very ambitious projects that most people would say were impossible to finish or to complete. but the organization pretty consistently does that. So, that's just very special. And so I worked for a number of years with Dharma Publishing, trying to bring that more into the world through consulting with companies. And we were very successful doing that for about 8 years. But eventually I, realized if I was going to continue to do that work in some form, I would need to start my own company because conditions changed. And so that really was the inspiration for starting it. And certainly continues to inform my work today, because, just the structures and ways of working are so consistently successful when you apply them.
Wonderful. Can you share with me what are some of your favorite books authored by Rinpoche?
Yeah, well, every book I've ever read by him, has been um, ground shifting, I would say. There's just something about his approach that is consistently working to try to get to the root of our suffering, and the potential of our gift of being human. So certainly the Skillful Means books have always been a favorite of mine, right? They're just beautiful books that you can read over and over again. Skillful Means, we're going to be working with that book, in our class together this coming up semester, which I'm very excited about. So it's been rebranded as The Gift of Work. And it's just a really beautiful little book. Mastering Successful Work is another really great book that has hundreds of practices in it that, again, just work without get good results just consistently if you apply them. But I think, it's been really nice to be part of Dharma College and discover new books too, because Rinpoche has been very prolific in these last years, writing new books. And Revelations of Mind is certainly one that comes to mind, which has really been, yeah, it's a really important, that's been a very important book for me to really deepen my understanding of mind. And I really appreciate Richard Dixie's Searcher Reaches Land's End, which helps to explain Revelations of Mind. So that I've really enjoyed that. I've also really love Gesture of Great Love. I think that for the times that we're in, like just so chaotic, disruptive period in history, that book is just very accessible, and really speaks to how do we find the light in the darkness. So that's also a favorite of mine. It's hard for me to really want to say which one is my
I know.
favorite.
Once you start getting into which book, they're just so rich and so meaningful.
Yeah.
But the gift of work is something that we'll be working on together, and so excited about bringing that book out with other students. Now, turning to some more light questions, what kind of hobbies do you like to do in your spare time? Aside from consulting and teaching at Dharma College, what are some of your hobbies?
What are some of my hobbies? Yeah. I really like to be outside. I find a lot of inspiration in nature. So, I love to walk. I try to walk several miles a day, varies like between 3 and 5 miles.
Wow.
There's just something in that kind of brings me back into my body. I love being, really out in nature, hiking in forests and parks like what's behind me. And I like to camp, as well, just to, I don't know, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but I feel like it just brings me back to my more authentic being somehow.
Wonderful.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
that's so we'll have to get some tips on how to go on a camping trip with Terry.
that'd be fun.
That would be really fun. Okay, well, just moving along. What would you say are some of your favorite ways to unwind at the end of the day? I mean, you spoke about walking, but do you have any other ways that you like to unwind? Maybe on a weekend, or is
Yeah.
it reading or cooking?
Yeah, I love to cook with my partner. That I get a lot of joy from doing that, trying new recipes. I would say my meditation practice is also really important in helping me be able to, I practice in the morning generally to be able to really center and, you know, move into the day from a positive, place.
Mhm.
Um, so that's also really important. I enjoy getting body work. I like to get regular massage. That's helpful to me as well. Yeah, sometimes a good movie is fun, like comedies or, just, yeah, something I like to laugh. So, anything that kind of can make me laugh is a good thing.
Oh, that's great. Well, my last question is, what do you think students will gain from taking this class? You're going to be teaching a class. We're both teaching this class on overcoming workplace burnout, and burnout is such a big topic these days. And I'm sure as a consultant, you hear about that from from your clients. Can you talk a little bit about what this class might do for a student or to someone who's in the field? What would they benefit from taking a class like this?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think burnout is, yeah, a danger for all of us, honestly. And people come I think people will come into the class from different places. And so I would want to say whatever you're doing, whatever your job is, whatever, wherever you're coming from and wherever you are on the spectrum of burnout is totally fine, right? There's no like right. I don't think there's no I don't think there's any one way to approach it. And I think wherever you're coming from is a good place because it means you're aware of it by taking the class and you would like to make it better. So that's really, really great. And I think that this book and Rinpoche's teachings in general in his Skillful Means series are really like they teach us the opposite of burnout. If we could really embody the teachings in that book, you would never experience burnout again. So they're simple teachings, but they're very powerful. And my hope for the class is that we will really practice together as a little community and all of us have, kind of a doorway open to us to be refreshed by our work, if you can imagine that. That work becomes like a drink from, the cool stream and like literally the opposite of draining us, but that, it's something that gives us life and, um, fulfillment and joy.
That's wonderful. Well, with that, I think we've got a chance to get to know Teri a little bit more. If you have any questions, we have her email below, so you can always be in touch with her directly about the class that's being offered. And we're just so delighted to spend a little bit of time with you, Teri, and for students to get to know you. And do look out for this class. It's going to be really a wonderful addition to Dharma College's curriculum. And we're just so delighted to have you as part of our faculty. Thank you for taking the time today to get to know Teri a little bit. Thank you, Teri.
Thank you, Wamo. My pleasure.
See you soon. Bye.